An iconic photo catapulted a local family into the national limelight.
It captured the crisis in the heartland for farmers in the mid-'80s. Susan Simon is here with a special update for us.
Hello. This was probably one of the first viral photographs, to put it in today's terms, long before we knew what that really meant. We first met Ken and Sue Massey 28 years ago on the day their family farm was sold off to the highest bidder. Many people have wondered over the years, what happened to that family? Well, the answers are revealed in Sue's new memoir. Every Wisconsin farm has a story, and this is where Sue Massey wrote hers, in her bedroom sanctuary on her iPad.
It was kind of percolating, and it felt very unfinished. So I kept looking at that photograph thinking, but that's just a photograph. There's so much more to the story.
For 3 generations, the Massey family lived and worked on the land in Hollandale.
This was my dream, to raise our kids on that farm. But this was every fabric of his being. I mean, he grew up there, his dad grew up there, and his grandfather grew up there, so certainly was extremely devastating for Kenny.
But 30 years later, it's still hard to even talk about for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's still right there.
The pain is still there, you bet.
It was March 4th, 1986, a year when land values and commodity prices plummeted while interest rates skyrocketed. The Masseys were at the Iowa County Courthouse in Dodgeville for the most painful moment they would ever face. After 80 years, the Massey family farm was on the auction block.
Subject to unpaid 1984 and 1985 real estate taxes.
There were 2 bids, the highest offering less than half the value of the 324 acres.
Anybody $46,000? $45,000 once? $45,000 twice? It appears that we've sold the farm for $45,000.
The Masseys and their 5 small children had hit rock bottom.
Boy, I've been so low. It's been just terrible. And for these farmers and businessmen, it isn't worth suicide. Your family needs you. You gotta make it. You gotta stay for your family. It's just, you have to.
You have to talk. You have to keep the lines of communication open, because once you hold it inside of you, it'll eat you up alive.
A photographer for the Wisconsin State Journal, L. Roger Turner, captured the Masseys' anguish with a single click.
But I think when they snapped that photograph, it was like at that very moment, the breath ceased of something that you loved, and it just stopped right there. And I think that's what was caught.
The Masseys were on the front page of papers around the country. Ken and Sue never accepted any aid from the hundreds of people who sent money, some in envelopes addressed only to Hollandale, Wisconsin.
And when people start sending you a dollar bill and they start telling you their stories, how are you going to take their money?
You can see your daughter fighting so hard to be strong. Which one of your kids was that?
That was our oldest daughter, Kelly.
Just 10 at the time, the Massey children are all grown now. Kelly is 38 and a nurse in California. The baby Sue was holding that day was Naomi. She's still the baby of the family at 30. Where did you go the day after the auction?
We moved off the farm and into a rental home, kind of the fringes of Hollandale, Barneveld area, so the kids could stay in their school district. We were there 3 years. Then Kenny got a university job, and that was our ticket into Madison.
For more than 20 years now, Ken and Sue have run a landscaping business out of their Middleton home. Their giant snowman sign is a winter icon on Mineral Point Road. A spacious treehouse and backyard chickens make it feel like being on the farm. What does it feel like to be back here?
It's been a long time.
On his 63rd birthday, Ken went back to Hollandale. Just like the family, the old farm has weathered some storms. Does it feel like yesterday, or does it feel like a long time ago?
It feels both. It's kind of odd. Part of you could just run up the hill and just be there again. And then another part of you is like, but the house was brown. It makes you think about when they say you can never go back. There's something to be said about that. But they can't take the memories from you either.
In the book, Sue reveals a painful, personal secret that she never had the courage to talk about until now. She hopes it will be a source of inspiration. Letter from the Heart is available in bookstores, and the ebook is coming soon. Sue has a book signing tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at Barnes & Noble at Westtown Mall. And Eric and Michelle, you know, you see that old video and it just rips your heart out. But we have to remember that in the mid-'80s, that was a scene that played out almost every single day. In fact, the year the Masseys lost their farm, interest rates were 18.5%. And that year alone, 3,000 Wisconsin farms that were over-leveraged went into foreclosure.
You can just feel his heartbreak in trying to retell that story. It's amazing emotion.
But they survived and thrived, and all of their kids are doing well, and all is well.
Yeah, it is amazing though how far and wide, how we said that picture went viral before anyone knew what viral meant, and I had people on Facebook saying, you know, in North Carolina saying they remember that picture. So
I recognize their landscape insight.
You recognize the snowman. Eric went, oh, the snowman.
Those are those Masseys. It is great to see them doing so well.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a great story. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Stick around. Sports is next.